Hi everyone. Today I'm going to recap about the mystery of faith because I kind of feel like people aren't really getting it. And I think once people get it, I think they'll be amazed at what exactly it is Dave and I are trying to show you and tell you and teach you and help you to see. So Paul talks about faith as being the substance of things hoped for. So what I think everybody hopes for, and what I hope everybody is hoping for, is that I would think that everybody is hoping for the truth, that we could get to the bottom of it, and that we could finally have everything revealed, come out and be brought out into light. So let's just go a little bit deeper into what faith actually is saying. Because not only is it the substance of things hoped for, but real faith, the faith in the Bible, that when you have that kind of true faith, that not only will you see and hear, which means not only will you perceive and understand what has been hidden from you, but the Father, the Spirit of the Father, will also reveal the evidence of it to you, meaning it'll be in the Bible. The Bible will back up itself. I mean, the truth doesn't really need David or I to defend it. It'll defend itself. We just want you to see how it's defending itself. So the Father will reveal the evidence of it to you. Now, Paul also speaks about how he only spoke these mysteries amongst those who are perfect. And this doesn't mean complete. You can say whatever you want about it meaning complete, but it means perfect. It means people who are like them, people who are in their group of peoples who are being reformed into the Father's image, into Christ's perfect image. Because what's going, like I said before, the waters right now are being divided from amongst the waters. Everybody's going with Derek, will be going with Derek. You know, the Mormons go with the Mormons, Jehovah's go with Jehovah's, Baptists with Baptists, Catholics with Catholics, yada, yada, yada. But there's only going to be 144,000 elect who are going to actually see these mysteries. The rest of you aren't going to see them until the last trump, when everybody's going to see it and everybody's going to know what the truth is. So, Paul also spoke about why he says that now he says that they look at the things that are not seen rather than the things that are seen, because the things that are seen, those are temporary, because it's not truth. What's seen, that is not the truth. It's what is not seen, what he's trying to tell you. That's where the truth is at, because Christ said that the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven were not meant for everybody, just to the ones who would hear and see them, the mysteries. That's who they're meant for. Because not everybody wants to see and hear them, believe me. Not everybody wants to. When I go back and look at my channel and I see that I only got like 30 views on this really good mystery video, I should be getting more than that. I got 165 subscribers. I would think that more people would be interested in maybe seeing what these mysteries are. But like I said, that's on you. So anyways, we got to back up to the Gospel of John, to John chapter 1, where it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." So when you think about the Bible as being God, well, that's exactly what it's talking about. The mystery of faith was that the evidence of things not seen would be revealed to you, because the book is sealed and the mysteries are hidden from you. But when you have the Spirit, when you have the Holy Spirit guiding you, and you're truly seeking, and you're not listening to all these men like Global Witness and all this other garbage, but when it's truly just you and the Bible and the Spirit, and you're really talking with God, the amazing thing is that the truth will be revealed to you. The evidence of it will be revealed. So David and I really want to help you to see that it isn't just about seeing an invisible God, because now that we know that the Word is God, it was about seeing the invisible Word, the Word that you cannot see, because it is sealed. That's all it is. The Word is sealed. You can say it's unsealed all you want. You can say you've got all this great knowledge, but it's not going to save you. What is gematria? How is gematria going to save you, people? How is that going to save you? It's not. So when you go in to watch this video, it talks about the mystery of trees, the mystery of beasts, fowls, creeping things, and fishes. Now, beasts, fowls, creeping things, or fishes are all of us, okay? They're all of us. The trees are people like Derek, or the Catholic Church, the Pope, whatever, those preachers, those priests, wherever they stand up and preach, those are the trees. We're all the beasts of the field. We go and we take the fruits of these trees, and we'll just please pay close attention to these videos. They're very important. Thank you.
Hello world, welcome. Please, feel free to stay for some refreshments. We shall start you off with our pure, sparkling water, and our delicious basket of fresh, warm, unleavened bread to start with, and then we shall get into the wine and meat of the meal that we shall feed you with while you are visiting. We welcome everyone, and is no one person excluded over another, for there is plenty for everyone. Okay then, let's get started. King Solomon spoke the Father's secret languages to all the ages after him who were given the Holy Spirit of wisdom and understanding. For the Father gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much. For he was wiser than all men, and he spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. And he spoke of trees, from the cedar tree that is in Lebanon, even of the hyssop that springs out of the wall. He spoke also of beasts, and of fowl, and of creeping things, and of fishes. It is said, people from the greatest to the very least, traveled from afar, just to hear about these particular trees, beasts, fowls, creeping things and of fishes. From all the kings of the earth, came they, to hear of Solomon's wisdom. But what was it that was so intriguing about what Solomon was speaking compared to any other man who may have spoken regarding these things? For I can assure you what Solomon spoke of was not of worldly perception nor understanding. We must first turn to the miracle of Jesus, when he healed the blind man. For this blind man represents the people of the world today. But you must understand, this is a spiritual blindness, not a physical one. You will see why shortly. Mark 8 verse 22 through 26 King James Version. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town, And when he had spit on his eyes, and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw anything. And he looked up, and said, I see men as trees, walking. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes, and made him look up, and he was restored, and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, Neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town. Now, the false preachers teach that this blind man was literally blind, and that when Christ put his hands upon the blind man's eyes the first time, that the man simply had blurry vision at the time of the healing, and that's why he saw men that looked like trees. But this makes no sense whatsoever, because Christ was not one to go half-hearted when healing the blind. You see, the reason Christ healed the blind man was because the book is sealed. The living word knows your faith and whether you understand the mystery of it. For it is your faith that shall heal you. Jesus gave the blind man a glimpse at spiritual understanding. Then he restored his sight fully, and the blind man saw all men clearly. What this means is that the blind man wasn't only seeing, in regards to doctrine, that a tree represents a certain type of man, but that he also perceived, certain types of men represented certain types of beasts, fowl, creeping things, and fishes. I know this sounds strange now, but you are going to begin to see the evidence of it shortly. Understand therefore, that, in doctrine, a tree is not a tree, a beast is not an animal, nor is a fowl a bird, nor creeping thing a snake, nor is a fish just a fish. For Christ speaks all his words in a parable, a deep, deep mystery. This is why Christ said the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven are only given to those who seek wisdom and understanding. For his right-hand path is the only way, the only truth, and gives life to those that find it. Different trees represent different types of men with different types of knowledge. Each beast, and fowl, and creeping things, and fishes represent different types of people. Do you really think the Father was separating certain meats from his people? Do you really believe Father did not want his people to literally not eat pork, or certain fish meat, or animal meats? Watch and perceive that the book is indeed sealed to the prideful heart of man. For even Peter spoke about this mystery. That Father was not referring to literal meats or flesh of these kinds of creatures. And the Old Testament itself proves this fact alone. But the minds of them which believe not, are covered by the veil, that they may never see the truth till it be too late to discover it. This is why we two witnesses are here. To put an end to all the lying wonders by revealing these deep mysteries. In Acts chapter 10 verses 11 through 14, and verse 28, states, And saw heaven opened, and a certain vessel descending to him, as it had been a great sheet, knit at the four corners and let down to the earth. Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat. But Peter said, Not so, Lord, for I have never eaten anything uncommon or unclean. Peter goes on to say exactly what the vision means in verse 28. For it says, And he said to them, You know how, that it is an unlawful thing, for a man that is a Jew, to keep company, or come to one of another nation, but God has shown me that I should not call any man, common or unclean. This is because in the Old Testament when Moses spelled out the law, concerning meats, it was merely speaking about God's people being forbidden to eat the wisdom of those types of people of other nations, because the Father saw them as being like unclean swine, and vultures, and serpents, and fishes of this world. He did not want his chosen to defile themselves with the sins of the heathen, nor defile what truth was already in them, by partaking of the corrupt teachings of the heathen. For it is written in Leviticus chapter 20 verses 22 through 26, You shall therefore keep all my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them, that the land, where I bring you to dwell therein, spew you not out. And you shall not walk in the manner of the nation, which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. But I have said to you, You shall inherit their land, and I will give it to you, to possess it, a land that flows with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. You shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls, and clean, and you shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of creeping thing that creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And you shall be holy to me, for I the Lord am holy and have severed you from other people, that you should be mine. You see, Father never forbid the Jews to eat a slice of bacon, nor a ham sandwich. He forbid them to come to one of another nation, to sit and eat their corrupt meats, which is referring to their corrupt knowledge. The evidence of this is written in a book that was kept from your eyes, for it is written in the Gospel of Barnabas chapter 9. But why did Moses say, Ye shall not eat of the swine, neither the eagle, nor the hawk, nor the crow, nor any fish that has not a scale upon him? Answer: that in the spiritual sense, he comprehended 3 doctrines that were to be gathered from thence. Besides which, he says to them in the book of Deuteronomy, And I will give my statutes unto this people. Wherefore, it is not the command of God that they should not eat these things. But Moses, in the Spirit, spake unto them. Now the sow, he forbade them to eat, meaning, thus much, Thou shalt not join thyself to such persons as are like unto swine, who, while they live in pleasure, forget their God. But when anyone pinches them, then they know the Lord, as the sow, when she is full, knows not her master, and being again fed, is silent. Neither, says he, shalt thou weigh the eagle, nor the hawk, nor the kite, nor the crow. That is, thou shalt not keep company with such kind of men, that know not, how by their labor and sweat, to get themselves food, but injuriously ravish away the things of others, and watch how to place snares for them, when at the same time, they appear to live in perfect innocence. So these birds alone seek not food for themselves, but sitting idle, seek how they may eat of the flesh others have provided, being destructive through their wickedness. This is why Christ offered his own flesh and blood for you to eat and drink. Carrying on. Neither, says he, shalt thou eat the lamprey, nor the polyps, nor the cuttlefish, that is, thou shalt not be like such men, by using to converse with them, who are altogether wicked, and are judged to death. For so those fishes are alone, accursed, and wallow in the mire, nor swim as other fishes, but tumble in the dirt, at the bottom of the deep. But he adds, Neither shalt thou eat of the hare. To what end? To signify this to us, Thou shalt not be an adulterer, nor liken thyself to such persons. For an hare, every year, multiplies the places of its conception, and so many years as it lives, so many it has. Neither shalt thou eat of the hyena, that is, again, be not an adulterer, nor a corrupter of others. Neither be like to such. And wherefore so? Because that creature, every year, changes its kind, and is sometimes male and sometimes female. For which cause, also he justly hated the weasel, to the end that they should not be like such persons, who, with their mouths, commit wickedness. Because that animal conceives with its mouth. Moses, therefore, speaking as concerning meats, delivered indeed 3 great precepts to them in the spiritual signification of those commands. But they, according to the desires of the flesh, understood him as if he had only meant it of meats. And therefore, David took aright the knowledge of his threefold command, saying in like manner, Blessed is the man that hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, as the fishes before mentioned in the bottom of the deep, in darkness. Nor stood in the way of sinners, as they who seem to fear the Lord, but yet sin, as the sow, and hath not say in the seat of the scorners, as those birds who sit and watch that they may devour. Here you have the law, concerning meat, perfectly set forth, and according to the true knowledge of it. But, says Moses, he shalt eat all that divideth the hoof, and cheweth the cud, signifying thereby such a one as having taken his food, knows him that nourisheth him, and resting upon him, rejoiceth in him. But why might they eat those that clave the hoof? Because, the righteous liveth in this present world, but his expectation is fixed upon the other. See, brethren, how admirably Moses commanded these things. But how should we thus know all this, and understand it? We, therefore, understanding aright the commandments, speak as the Lord would have us. Wherefore, he has circumcised our ears, and our hearts, that we might know these things. We thank you for coming here, within our gates, to partake of our water, our wine, our bread, our meats, and our fruits. Please come back again, when we shall reveal the graven image in more depth, the trees which we shall cut down by their roots,